we consider ourselves just a simple small sangha, but still Mataji is so giving and liberal. She's been willing to join us today and speak on a very important topic, overcoming anxiety and fear. Now, for those of you who do not know Mataji, she's a very renowned preacher and writer. She's written a book called On Sikhism, which has been translated in many languages and has been very well received in various circles. And on top of that, Mataji gives talks in various parts of the world, in the Western world and in India. And she's a very sought after speaker, and she's giving herself so completely in giving Krishna conscious to others. So Mataji, we are deep for you to join us today and to speak on this most important topic. It's fear and anxiety which immobilizes us and holds us back in moving forward in various aspects of both our contemporary life and our spiritual life.
Yes,
and most importantly in our spiritual life. So it's certainly a very relevant topic, and we really look forward to you sharing your realizations and knowledge on this topic today. So thank you again, and I will now hand over to you, Mataji.
Thank you. It's wonderful meeting you again, Prabhu. Haribol. I'm meeting you again for the second time. Thank you.
Yes.
And you are actively involved there, so it's wonderful to see you also giving a lot of service there. And service is one thing what Prabhupada has motivated us to do, and that unites us. Our service unites us all. Service to Srila Prabhupada, service to Krishna, that unites us. We are from different parts of the world, yet we are in the Prabhupada's family and we are united together. And we are expanding the family. Yeah, we are trying to expand the family. That's what you and I are doing. That's our endeavor, to expand the family as much as we can before we leave the planet. That's it. So,
Yes.
So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhupada has placed a big responsibility on all of us.
Yes, that's it. And through the Guru and the Acharyas, it has come to us. And that's what my Guru Maharaj once said. When I joined ISKCON, he said, I want you to preach. It's my order, it's my order, it's my order, he said. Thrice he said that. And then I just took it on me, yes, I have to do it. And then he said that I should be traveling. And I should become an international preacher after some time, he said. In 2007, he said that. And then I took it on my responsibility that I should be traveling. I started traveling then.
It seems that what his instructions came his blessings also, because
Of
you're
course.
executing it so nicely, Mataji.
That's it. When Guru actually, that's Bhagavad Gita says, and it's truth. When the Guru gives us some instructions, he gives the Shakti also, he gives the powers. Otherwise, I could not have traveled all alone. He asked my husband, Rasapriya, are you fine if she travels? He said, absolutely, I'm fine. And then Maharaj said, then go ahead. Go preaching. Thank you for inviting me. So the Zoom is the only way these days, because the technology has it has been helpful. So we travel with the technology now. We can't travel physically, but yet we travel. That's why I want to give my time as much as I can for preaching. So thank you, Prabhu. We'll do the Mangalachara and then we'll start. Om Jnana Thimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurvai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapat Kamlam Shri Gurana Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakstam Sahaganragratvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitvascha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुवक्ष कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So I thank you all for inviting me. And as Prabhuji said, yes, this topic is, it's lot of what we need. It's the need of the hour, what I may say. And exactly in India especially, there is a lot of fear and anxiety. And it's pretty bad in India right at the moment. We are facing lot of, the COVID problem is there, and it's at the peak. And there is a lot of fear and distress and pain. It's in the air. Everywhere we are getting the news of all is the fear and the pain and suffering. And fear brings suffering. Fear is in itself a suffering. For the devotees, there are two kinds of people, I always say. There are devotees and non-devotees. So it's all about the reaction. How we see the problem, it's our perspective. And Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada's mercy is there. He has actually showered his mercy on us, made the Bhagavad Gita so simple for us. It's the Bhagavad Gita, the celestial song sung by Krishna himself. And Srila Prabhupada has simplified it so much for us to understand the aspect, how we can change our perspective. Perspective means our reaction. Bhagavad Gita teaches us all about the reactions. It's all about action and reaction. The fear, the anxiety, these are the reactions. The situations will be there, but how we react to them will bring the changes in us, will bring the effect on us, how we react on them. So they affect our consciousness, they affect our day-to-day life also. So our reactions affect us. So Prabhupada clearly said that one has to change the perspective, how he sees it, how you become optimistic, how you see it in the clear vision you have. So Bhagavad Gita gives us the clear vision. And there are two kinds of people, I said always, there is no other third one. One is a devotee, one is a non-devotee. A devotee is the one who is surrendered, who is trying to surrender, who is putting in effort. He can be 10% surrendered, 100% surrendered, 90% surrendered, 80%, 50%, 30%. It depends upon how much he is surrendered. But that is there, that's a devotee. He's trying to surrender. He's putting up an effort, a sincere effort. And the other side, the second one is the non-devotee. Non-devotee is the one who is not surrendered. He can be a total atheist. He can be he can be totally involved in Maya. He can be totally involved in the material world, and just having Krishna for the namesake in his life. So there are also different categories of non-devotees also. And there are these two kinds of people. Their reaction is also of two kinds. When there is a fear, when there is a situation where there is anxiety, where there is the pain is going to come, the devotee's reaction will be completely different to a non-devotee's. Non-devotee will be cursing God. Non-devotee will be putting the blame on God. Yes, God is giving the trouble. God is the one. Krishna is the one. Or the Supreme Personality or the Almighty is the one who is putting us into this. Why is he putting us? He will be complaining always. Why has he put us into this? Why we are suffering? He blames his suffering to the Supreme Personality. But whereas the devotee, he understands that it's all, the situation has arisen because of his own actions, previous actions. So Bhagavad Gita makes us understand the perspective. It changes our perspective. It nourishes us. It makes us at the end fearless. Fear is a reaction. So it trains us. Krishna has trained Arjuna what a reaction he must have. how he should react in the things when the problem, suffering comes up, because he's training Arjuna all the time. He tells Arjuna, this world is dukhalaya, it is ashashvatam, this is impure, this is dukhalaya, it's full of distress. Whether you live in London, whether you live in America, whether you live in Canada, everywhere there is suffering. When Prabhupada went to America, what Prabhupada said to them, don't you have a death rate here? Nobody dies here? So they were speechless. Yes, death is everywhere. Death doesn't leave us, whether we may go and hide in Alaska or we may go hide in the Arctic Circle also. Death will not leave us. There's a story I remember of Yamaraj, when there was a little bird sitting with Garuda outside, and Yamaraj comes to visit Vishnu. He is come to visit Lord Vishnu, and he looks at the Garuda. There is a small little bird sitting next to Garuda, and he stares at that bird. He's looking constantly at that bird, and while looking at her, he enters the Vishnu's abode. And when he comes out of the bird, she's petrified. She's very fearful now when she saw Yamaraj. And she asked Garuda, can you hide me somewhere? I don't like the way he's looking at me. I don't like how he looks at me. Please hide me somewhere. Garuda said, that's a very easy thing I can do. I'll just pick you up and I'll take you miles away, thousands of miles away, and put you in a cave, where Yamaraj, when he comes out of the Vishnu's abode, he won't be able to see you. So he picks up the bird, the little tiny bird, and he takes her thousands of miles away and hides her into a cave there. And there, when she is left alone in the cave, there is already a snake waiting for her. She is the food for the snake. And the snake gulps her down. She's dead. Now the Garuda is very peaceful that, he has left her and he returns to his position, and there Yamaraj comes out. And the Yamaraj looks around and he says, where's that bird? He said, you won't be able to see her. I took her a distance away, you can't see her now. Yamaraj said, you don't know. Her death was waiting there. And I was thinking how she will reach there. And you did the job. You took her and you left her there. So this is how the death, the Kal comes. It is not going to leave anybody. Everybody is in the queue, one by one. Sooner or later, everybody has to go. But one has to prepare themselves. That's what Prabhupada said, art of dying. How we have to die. How we have to become, first we become fearless. Yes, a devotee's reaction is he is fearless. He is determined. He has the Utsaha Nishchay Dhairya, the three things what the Rupa Goswami said. He has the enthusiasm to serve Krishna. Then he has the determination, and then he has the patience also. Because he is being trained to be a fearless soul. Krishna has trained us from the second chapter itself that you are the soul, you are not the body. He tells clearly the soul never perishes. So why do you fear? Why do you fear that you will go away? The soul never perishes. The body becomes old. The body becomes useless. The body has to go away. So you will be changing, it's like changing clothes. But yet if you really want to get rid of this suffering from the bottom, from the core of it, then you have to surrender to me. That's what Krishna told Arjuna. That you just surrender to me. When you surrender to me, you will be free from all anxiety. You will be free from every fear. The fear and the pain. You'll be free from all the pain also. We can see Jesus Christ being crucified, but he was the Son of God. He did not feel the pain. Other hand, he is asking for forgiveness for those who are giving him the pain. Haridas Thakur, other day I was giving the example, Haridas Thakur was being beaten in 22 marketplaces. They were beating him they wanted him to die. But Krishna was protecting him all the time. And then Haridas Thakur was worried about those who were beating him, that the king would not leave them if he did not die. So he just enacted that. So this is how the devotees of the Lord are. Krishna does not inflict pain on them. They don't feel the pain. So don't worry, if we become a devotee, the death will not give us pain. There will be no pain for the devotees. Devotees don't die a painful death. The world thinks that they are in pain, but they don't have the pain. Krishna assures that. He says that. My devotees never perish, he says. My devotees, the devotion will never perish. My devotee never perishes. So have faith in Krishna. How this faith becomes strong. The more the faith we have, more fearless we will become. That's what Krishna taught. The Pandavas, they had the pain, but they gained from their pain. They were always in distress. They were suffering. Nobody has suffered more than Kunti Maharani. Nobody has suffered more than the Pandavas also. Pandavas lost their kingdom. Pandavas were in Agyatavas. Pandavas were in exile. Then they lived in the Lakshagriha. That was burned down. They were Draupadi. She was being disrobed in the court, in the palace itself, where everybody is sitting there. But Krishna protected them at all the places. Everywhere Krishna's protection could be seen. Kunti Maharani prays that, you give me more pain, because in pain I remember you. That's devotee is. That's devotion is. That a devotee never forgets Krishna. He always remembers Krishna. So that's how the anxiety and fear will go away from us. We have anxiety, of course. There is anxiety. And I've been talking in the previous lectures a lot about anticipatory anxiety. We are suffering from anticipatory anxiety also. We anticipate things. Yes, this will happen. We all know COVID is there in the air. It's outside and there. We step out from the house in India especially, it's very, very insecure at the moment. We can feel it. So many people are going. Every day we are getting the news. Every day the young and the old all are in actually a lot of danger. But then devotees have this confidence. Krishna is with them. Krishna is there. God is there. He will not leave us. He is there with the devotees. How can he leave us? And then the death, as I said, it's inevitable. It has to come and it will come. Every living being who has come to this world has to go back. It has to leave this world. This is called the Mrityu Loka. The other name for the earth is Mrityu Loka. But we forget it. We all the time we want to forget that. We think, talking about death is depressing, It's not at all that. We should be happy, cheerful while talking about death also. Because it's for devotees, it's another medium to meet Krishna. They look forward to what is beyond death. Beyond death is Krishna himself. He will give darshan. He says, he assures us, Yam yam vapi smaranam, he said, Antakale. If at the end of the day you will be chanting my name, you will come back to me. I will take you. So have faith in him. Yes, he is there. And this faith will bring what he is asking from us. Remember me always. So if you have faith, remember him always. And remembering him always means chanting at least 2 hours a day. Chanting his name in the Brahmurata. That's the Vishuddha Sattva time. Because he always said, transcend the 3 modes. The best way to transcend the 3 modes is getting up early in the morning at 3:30 when do the Mangala Arti. That's you're transcending the 3 modes even. That time is Vishuddha Sattva time. That time is not Tamoguni. That time is not Satoguni. It's not Rajoguni. It's Vishuddha Sattva, beyond Satogun. That time is very precious. So that time one should not waste it while sleeping. One should awaken up because you can spiritually awaken yourself at that time. If you really want to be spiritually inclined, that is the time. That is the time to get connected to Krishna. That is the time when you will feel that you are fearless. You will become fearless when you chant his holy name. We call it holy name. He says that. Shukdev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam, Kalera doshe nidana rajane eko mahan gunasti. In Kali Yuga everywhere there is what? Distress and suffering and pain, deceit, all the vices are there. All bad things you will see in Kali Yuga. There is not a single good quality in Kali Yuga you can see. But there is only one transcendental quality. The transcendental quality of Kali Yuga is that you can get Krishna just by chanting his name. You can go back to your home. You can go back to Krishna's home. You can go back to the transcendental abode of Krishna by just chanting the holy name. Mukunda, Krishna is called Mukunda. Mukunda means Mukti Data. There is only one who is called Mukunda. There is none other than Krishna who is called Mukunda. Nobody is called Mukunda. Only Krishna is called Mukunda. So Mukunda means Mukti Data, who can give Mukti. So Krishna can give Mukti. Only Krishna. So we pray to Krishna. This problem, Krishna says again, everything is coming from me. So even this problem is that comes from him, and even the solution comes from him. He tells in Bhagavad Gita, I have given solution to each and every problem. There is not a single problem in this world that is without a solution. He says that. Every problem has a solution. But why don't we find the solution? We sometimes say, oh, I can't solve my problem. I have no solution to this problem. Why can't we find the solution? Because we live in fear. We don't have a calm mind. We don't have a composed mind. One needs a calm mind, a mind that is not turbulent, because our mind is always speaking. We run after our mind. Our mind says, oh, this person is not good, that person is not good, this is good, that is bad. We see only this thing, that this is bad, this is good. We are in competition. We don't cooperate, but we compete. Everything that we say, it's in the opposite direction. Mind takes us in the opposite direction. It's the job of the mind. Because mind is actually, first are the 5 gross elements of our body. That is the body made of. Then we have the subtle body. And subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence and false ego. And in that subtle body is caged our soul. Our soul is prison. She is in the prison. Or prison house is the subtle body. And subtle body is made up of mind. And mind does not want to be dictated. It wants to dictate. Mind does not like to be dictated. Mind wants to dictate us. Mind is the director of all the senses. Mind says, do this. Mind says, I don't want to attend the class. I don't want to attend any spiritual talk. I want to watch a movie. I want to roam around. I don't want to listen to spiritual talks. I don't feel like. My mind does not want. So we run after our mind. We say, my mind is saying this. My mind wants that. I want to do because my mind is saying. We forget that mind is actually, we have to train our mind. Because Krishna has asked asked Krishna, mind is very turbulent. How do I control my mind? It is so turbulent that I'm sitting here, the mind can be miles and miles away. Because if I don't have interest in anything, my mind goes away from there. Physically, I might bring myself to sit here, but my mind, it can be thousands of miles away. And how can I bring my mind with my body? How will I train my mind? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you should beat your mind every day in the morning with your shoes. Literally, you should beat your mind. Beating your mind means you have to train your mind. Tell your mind, I want to do this only. Whether you like it or not, I am going to do this. So Krishna again said, above mind is intelligence, and above intelligence is the soul. The soul is the supreme. The soul is the main thing, because soul is connected to the super soul. That's what Krishna declared in the Bhagavad Gita. If we go into the verses of Bhagavad Gita, we'll get all the answers. In 700 verses, Krishna has condensed, he has given all the answers to all the problems, all the solutions he has given. That is why this is in the format of questions and answers. And Prabhupada carried on this legacy of questions and answers. When we sit for the class in the morning, 8 to 9, every temple all over the world, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the class time, Bhagavatam class. And it is followed by questions and answers. Why question answers? That we should not have any doubt. We should not carry any doubt. Doubt again means fear. Because doubt means you don't have faith. You lack the faith. And where there is no faith, there is fear. Without faith, fear will come. If faith is there, no fear. If faith is there, oh, Krishna is standing beside me, nothing will happen to me. If anything happens, Krishna is there. So, in any case, we are dependent on Krishna. Faith means that you are not independent, you are dependent on Krishna. Draupadi was dependent on Krishna. That is why she could not be disrobed in the palace. Her sari became unending. Why? She had faith in Krishna. She had the faith and the fear was gone. Faith replaced the fear and she left both the hands and she just lifted her hands up and she said, Hey Krishna Raksha Mam. Hey Krishna, come for my protection. And Krishna appeared in a fraction of a second, less than a fraction of a second, he was there in the form of sari. He did not let her to be disrobed. So this is the faith. Prahlad Maharaj had faith. The Bhagavatam carries so many stories, they are the true stories. These are the history for us. Prahlad Maharaj, he had this strong faith in Krishna. He was fearless. He was thrown from the mountains, he was thrown in the dungeons, he was thrown before the snakes, he was thrown before the elephants, he was put into the fire with his Holika, Bua, his auntie, where she burnt, but he came out all alive. Because he had the faith in Krishna, that Krishna is there. And then Krishna had to take a special form for him. He comes for his devotee. The faith of the devotee brought him. So faith, where there is no fear, there is faith. And where there is faith, Krishna has to come. He will come. Surely he will come. He has sent the Guru. So because it is the faith in him that the Guru has come before us. Srila Prabhupada is our instruction Guru, yes. He appeared before us. He answered all our, whatever questions we had in our mind were answered by Srila Prabhupada. He made the Bhagavad Gita was in Sanskrit. He made it so simple for us with all the word meanings that we may understand. Yes. That is Krishna's mercy again, that he appeared before us. So our faith in Krishna made the Guru appear before us. And then the Guru trains us to go back to Godhead, to be fearless, to be painless. We will be without fear, we will be without pain. Yes, we get the pain, we get emotional when we see the suffering outside. We get the anxiety, of course. There is a lot of suffering, lot of pain these days. Otherwise also, Krishna said it was never a beautiful place. It's never a bed of roses, he said. The life is not going to be a bed of roses. He said that. Because he said there will be birth, death, old age and the four things nobody is going to be spared from them. He said death, everybody will suffer. Birth is a suffering. Old age is a suffering. Disease is a suffering. So world is full of suffering. But we thought, oh no, we will make it bed of roses. We will take out enjoyment from here. And yes, when we are devotees, we get the enjoyment when we are dancing, singing Krishna's glories. We do enjoy that. That is peace. So one gets connected to Krishna, one gets peace. And Krishna said, with peace you will get happiness also. But you will get when you get connected to me. He said, Nastir buddhir yuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana na chavata shantira shantasya kuta sukham. Without peace there cannot be happiness. Shantasya kuta sukham. That means shanti ke bina sukh kaisa. The peace will come, he said, when you get attached to me. Nastir buddhir yuktasya. When your intelligence get connected to me and your intelligence becomes transcendental intelligence. When you become Krishna conscious, you will be free from anxiety. You will overcome the anxiety and then peace will come to you. Peace is there. When anxiety is there, there is no peace. We know that. If we have stress in mind, we have anxiety in mind, we have pain in our heart, there is no peace. That is why pain is there. That is why we feel the suffering. That is why we feel anxiety. That is why we feel fearful. Because there is pain in the heart. But this pain will go away once we give our intelligence to Krishna. That's what he told Arjuna. Offer me your intelligence and your mind. These two things you offer me. Give them to me. And then you fight the battle of Kurukshetra. So this is the battle we are fighting right now against COVID also. If we give our mind and intelligence to Krishna, of course the doctors will do their job. Medicine we have to take. We have to take precautions, we have to take care. Yet our spiritual anxiety, our anxiety, our anticipatory anxiety, all this we have to surrender to Krishna. We have to get spiritually inclined in true sense, sincerely. Sincerely, when we have faith in Krishna, COVID can do nothing to us. COVID cannot harm us. We just have to be dependent on Krishna. He will protect us. We are in his puppets in his hand. Whatever he will do, we accept it. So acceptance is what devotee learns. He lives in gratitude. If we live in gratitude, then that is the best part in our life. That we live in gratitude, we always thanks to Krishna we give. Other day I was doing a story with my group. I was telling them a true story where a young girl, she had a couple, they had 3 children. They had the same genetic problem, the 3 of them. Every time the doctor said, oh, it doesn't seem that you will be carrying the same genetic thing again. And they tried again and again, but unfortunately the 3 children they all had the same genetic problem, that they would die before the age of 20, all of them. And they constantly needed blood transfusions. So the elder daughter, when she comes there, it's a story from America. So there was a Thanksgiving ceremony going on in the school. There was a Thanksgiving day. So this young girl, she was asked, all the students in the class were giving thanks, writing the notes, whom they would thank today. So some children said they thank their parents, they gave so many toys to them. Some said that we thank our teachers who love us. This girl who was suffering from this disease, and she knew she would die, that she would die before the age of 20. She can die any time, any moment. She knew that. And she knew her siblings also had the same problem, because they all used to go for blood transfusions almost every fortnightly. All of the 3 together, mother and parents, they used to take them. But she had trained her children with so much love and care. They were fearless. She wrote in her Thanksgiving letter, she said, I thank God for such a good health he has given me. The teacher was shocked to read this. When the child wrote, the God has given me such a good health. The teacher called the mother and told her, your daughter has written this Thanksgiving note. So the mother, she asked the daughter, and the daughter was 12 years old at that time. She asked the daughter that, you know, you are suffering. You have to go for blood transfusions, and yet you have written that you thank God for such a good health he has given. She said, yes, mom. Because you see, when I go for the blood transfusions, I see children, those who have cancer, they are suffering so much. Children, they have got some ailments, they come for blood transfusion, they have been amputated, they don't have a hand or they don't have a leg, and they are suffering much, much more than me. I am still healthy after transfusions. Though I have to go, I know, any moment. So she said, everybody has to go that. And then that's why I thank God that he has given me good health. I am healthy. I can go around, I can enjoy the world. I am fine. After blood transfusions, I am absolutely fine. So the mother was actually in tears. She said, yes, you have achieved the mercy of God. This is how, when we see the positivity in our life, that's how we learn from such stories. And it's a true story. That mother, she writes her experiences, that she lost her 3 kids, and yet she was smiling. The people used to ask her, how can you be so happy and smiling when you have lost your 3 kids? So she said, my children before going, they taught me. They have taught me the happiness, the faith in God. They taught me all. And they went away very peacefully. Her 3 children, she has described how they died, one after the other. And they went very peacefully, she says. So that is how she said, they have given me the faith in God. So this is how we learn the positivity in life. The spiritual life is full of optimism. It is full of positivity. There is no place for negativity. That's what Krishna says from the beginning. Arjuna is gliding into depression, and Krishna is taking him out. As soon as Arjun says, I become your disciple, Krishna takes the role of the guru, the spiritual master. And we are all very fortunate that we are in the shelter of a spiritual master already. Srila Prabhupada is our instructing spiritual master. He has actually given us everything. He has taken us out from all the depression. That's absolutely true. It's in my case even, and I've heard so many stories of other devotees also. Yes, he has actually shown us the path. When I joined, I used to tell Guru Maharaj, I had a vacuum in me, and that vacuum has been fulfilled now. I remember these words I told him. I said that vacuum has fulfilled. There's an empty, that's vacuum in everybody's heart. When you have so many questions, so many queries, you live in fear, you live in the fear of separation, you don't know what is there beyond death, what happens to your near and dear ones when they go away. So Prabhupada made the picture so crystal clear before us. We could understand what is beyond death. So there is life after death, and that life is where you can serve Krishna. And we look forward to that life. The devotees look forward to that life also. They are serving here, they are training themselves here to serve Krishna later on. They are serving him right now. So when we speak the glories of Krishna, we are serving him. We are listening the glories of Krishna, we are serving him. So this is how Shravanam and Kirtanam, and then comes the Smaranam. Smaranam is remembering Krishna. So that comes automatically. Spiritual life is very spontaneous. It flows. It's a spontaneous flow. It's not that you have to force yourself into it. Once you have faith in Krishna, once you just have a desire, rest Krishna does everything. Arjun is actually a companion of Krishna all the times. But this enactment is for us. What they enacted in the Bhagavad Gita, that's in Mahabharata. That's an enactment, a drama for us. Where Arjun is going into depression, he is into fear and anxiety. The first chapter describes that. Towards the end of the first chapter, we come to know that Arjun is in fear. He is in anxiety. He does not want to kill his own people. He says, they are my own. And then Krishna, when he says, I'm so much in anxiety now that I surrender to you. My mind is not working. I don't understand what to do. And he starts crying, and he leaves his bow and arrow there, and he sits down crying. And then Krishna takes the role of the guru when he says, I surrender as a disciple. And when he says, I surrender as a disciple, Krishna becomes the guru, and he teaches him now the Bhagavad Gita he speaks. The Bhagavad Gita he speaks now, he sings now, and where he describes him that how he can be free from anxiety. Once he gets connected to Krishna, he says, once you connect, I'm sitting in your heart, I know everything. That's again Krishna's assurance that I sit in your heart, I am there with you always. So don't think that I am in my abode sitting there very far away. I am there just next to you, in you. I know everything, what you are feeling, what you are thinking. You cannot hide anything from me. We can't hide anything from him. He is there. So the Guru actually knows everything. We have read so many of Srila Prabhupada's stories also where people on the verge of death. I read long time back in Back to Godhead from America, there was a story where a person who was going to leave the body and he saw Srila Prabhupada in the room. His children were devotee. He was an American body, but he was not a devotee. His children were devotee. His daughter-in-law and son were devotee. But he was dying from cancer and he wanted to bring them back to his home. So he asked his children, whatever you will do, I accept it. You come and stay with me. So they put a condition. The son put a condition with his father that we will come and stay with you, but you will have to live our way. We'll be offering food to Krishna. There will be aartis in the home. There will be devotees coming in the home. He said, I accept everything, but I want you to be with me because I'm dying from cancer. So they joined him in there. They went, the son and the daughter-in-law, they went and stayed with the father-in-law, the father. And then the father was actually he was going to pass away in 6 months' time. So the doctors were coming home only to check him up. And they said that he looks to be in so much of peace, whereas the patient at his stage are in lot of pain. But there was so much, he said, your house is full of so much positivity as I enter, the doctor says. And he said that because there was, the son writes, there was Tulsi Aarti, there was Tulsi in the house, there were Srila Prabhupada pictures, there were Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's picture, and they had put all these pictures in the room of that person also, who was about to, the father, who was about to leave the body. And then the daughter-in-law says that they had trained the father. He said the Mahamantra is too big for me, because being a American, he could not pick up the whole Mahamantra so easily. So he said, is it okay if I just chant Krishna, Krishna? So the son said, yes, you just chant Krishna. And the father always on the bed, lying on the bed, he used to chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And there was the Prabhupada picture right in front of his bed. And the daughter-in-law writes that the last day when he left the body, she says, I was inside chanting there and chanting next to him. And when the chanting was going on, suddenly the man said, I can see this old man in the room. He pointed towards Prabhupada's picture. And they saw the daughter-in-law said that I left the room. She came out of the room. She says, because I did not want him to get emotional with that he's leaving the body. And now he was in the better and the best hands, as Prabhupada had himself come over to take away. So this is how the faith works. This was a beautiful story. These stories, they are actually true experiences that they get embedded in the mind. They are actually motivating our faith, and they help us to be fearless in the face of death also. One becomes fearless. Prabhupada's example himself, when he went from India to America, it was at the age of 69 with just 40 rupees in the pocket. And at such an advanced age, going to America, if we read the Leela Amrit, it's so painful in the beginning when we read the struggle. It's very painful, the struggle is. How he used to walk down 2 blocks to use the washroom, to use the kitchen. It is amazing that at the age of 70, how can we think we leave our comfort in whether we are living in 1 room or 2 rooms in India, we leave the comfort and go away to a new place, not knowing anybody there, and the weather is so horrible, like it's snowing there, and it's so, winter is so, it's terrible. But yet, he went for Krishna. His faith was very strong. That's what I was just listening to Loknath Maharaj lecture right now. And he was talking about on Akshatrita, he was telling that League of Devotees was conceived in Jhansi. Yes, we read that in Leelamrit. Today, on Akshatrita day, it was conceived in Jhansi. And it was delivered in New York. So, ISKCON was made in New York. League of Devotees started here, and Prabhupada made the ISKCON in New York. So the seed was laid, and then the delivery came. This is Prabhupada's struggle also. It brings our faith, it makes our faith strong in Krishna. Because he says that he had 2 heart attacks on the way, and then he had the dream where Krishna is rowing the boat, and he says, don't fear. Whatever your goal you have come, you will achieve it. And the goal was not, Prabhupada did not want to make any mansions for himself. He wanted to make beautiful temples for Krishna. And he achieved the goal. And it's a miracle. Just in 12 years, nobody can make 108 temples. In 12 years, a single man cannot make. It's a miracle. Nobody can make it. It's a divine soul only can do it. So this is what the faith in Krishna does. So fear can be overcome only by faith. All the anxieties, all the fears can be overcome by faith in Krishna. So Krishna can pull us out of all the fears. He makes us fearless. And Prabhupada's name was that, Abhay Charan. He was Abhay. Once you are at the lotus feet of Krishna, everybody becomes Abhay. So that's only is required from us. I think so. I should be taking question answers. Otherwise, time will keep on running.
Maybe you can speak a little bit more about Mataji, another 5 minutes, and then we can take questions.
Okay. So, the pain, actually, we are talking about the trauma and the pain. The suffering is there, it's going to be there. So, suffering can be physical, emotional, it is, and it's a negative experience. Suffering actually brings a lot of negativity with it. So, how do we get out of this suffering? Krishna again gave the solution himself. He said there will be suffering in this world. Birth is a suffering we know. 9 months the child suffers in mother's womb. We think, oh, that it's a new soul coming to our house and we are very, very rejoiced and happy. But what happens is, he is actually suffering in mother's womb. He is in where he is. He's conceived. He's in the womb where the mother passes the stool and the urine passage. He's lying there in the middle. And then he's hung upside down. Imagine if somebody is hung upside down, how he suffers. And he is hung upside down. And then what he does, he clasps his hands like this, ultimately. And he begs for mercy. He says, Krishna, please take me out of this hell. And I will be your devotee. This is written in the Bhagavatam. And it's written in the Granth Sahib also. The same story, it's repeated in the Granth Sahib as well. So he is actually begging for mercy from Krishna, that I'll be your devotee. But as soon as he is out of the mother's womb, he is caught by the Maya, the illusion. He was there lying in the passage, he was lying in the hell. But as soon as he is out of the mother's body, there are beautiful things laying down for her. There are baby showers we hear about these days. Before the child is born, even there are parties they start, and as soon as the baby is delivered, there are again lots. There is everything is pomp and show starts, and there are beautiful rooms decorated for the baby, whether it's a boy or a girl, and the wardrobes are all settled, and he gets all the beautiful things, and he forgets now everything what he had suffered. But then the suffering does not end there. As he grows up, the suffering will be there. Krishna says that. And then there is the disease. It can catch anybody. Like this COVID. The other day I was we were discussing among devotees, and we were saying, like, this virus, it's like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu could not be killed anywhere. Neither up, neither down, neither outside, neither inside. So it is like the virus is the Hiranyakashipu. He has again come here, and Krishna has to kill him now. He has to come, and we have to pray hard for him to come and kill him. Krishna can do anything. So Hiranyakashipu was also made by Krishna itself. So this is virus is again, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabho, everything comes from me. And then birth is a suffering, death is a suffering, we know. Death, it says that 40,000 scorpions bite at the time. The pain is like inflicted by the biting of 40,000 scorpions. One feels that much of pain. But if one is a devotee, there will be no suffering. Krishna takes care of that. There will be no suffering for him. Non-devotees, they feel immense pain. It says there in the Bhagavatam. This happens. And then disease is a suffering. Old age is a suffering in itself. Nobody wants old age. Nobody wants old age. Because old age actually is a suffering in itself. We all know that. But the devotee, in all the stages, whether he is young or old, he is actually connected to Krishna. When he is connected to Krishna, the faith, again I say, it replaces the fear. Fear of old age also, because he's serving in the old age. Whether he's young or old, he's at the service. So the real success of our life is when we reach the target of serving others. And the real service is by speaking about Krishna, by speaking about the glories of Krishna, hearing about the glories of Krishna. That's the real service. That service everybody has to do. Physically we will be serving, but this service is very important, where we hear about Krishna and speak about Krishna. If every day we make this our goal in life that, oh, yes, every day I have to speak about Krishna to somebody or the other. I have to hear about Krishna from somewhere. Then we will achieve our target of being fearless. Our faith will become strong. The more the faith becomes strong, more fearless we become. More anxieties will go away. Anxieties, we don't have time for anxieties. The anxiety will be that how I preach. Because we learn from our acharyas. Today also Guru Maharaj was giving lecture in the big temple here in Delhi. And he was saying that because of the lockdown in Delhi, the temples are closed. The devotees can't go out to preach. Online they are preaching. And then he said that put yourself more into the listening and the speaking service. That is the only way. We can be like assured of the what we want in life, we will achieve it. That's it. Our aim in life is serving Krishna. So right now, one has to do that during this lockdown. Take it as an advantage. It's a plus point that we have time to preach and study and listen more about Krishna. So we should be doing that to become fearless. Because the gain in the pain, the devotee actually understands the pain, the gain in the pain. A non-devotee won't understand that there is some gain in the pain. He will not understand that. A devotee knows there is a gain in the pain also. So he knows there are blessings, these are disguised blessings. Maybe Krishna wanted everybody to realize that karma is strong. Karma is very, very strong. And everybody is going to pay for their karmas. And this is what is happening. We have been exploiting the nature so much. Now we are paying the karma, what we committed, we have to pay for that. And that's what is going on. So Corona is actually the karma, our own karma is coming before us. And this is the realization. Now, this has again taught us one more thing. Never take your happiness for granted. We remember just those days when we used to go out without mask. Then it was so easy to meet everybody, hug everybody, love everybody, sing glories, sing and dance in the temple, go outside. But now this is so difficult. It looks will we be able to again do the same? And we have lost so many devotees. So many faces every day on the Facebook we find pictures of the persons, the devotees, those who have left the bodies. The temple will not be the same for a few years when we go back to the temple. So many faces will be missing. So many people will be gone. But yet, Krishna's service will go on. We have the faith in Krishna, yes. And our karmas actually, we should be afraid of our karmas, one thing. And we should be performing our karmas at the best, serving Krishna without because Krishna says that. He has given everything in the Bhagavad Gita so clearly. He completely tells us that how we should be behaving also. He says no happiness and no aversion. Yo na harshati na dveshati na shochati na kankshati. Shubha shubh parityagi bhaktamanya samapriye. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Who does not hate anybody and who does not love deeply anybody. For them only there is one Krishna. We should not be hating others also. Not speaking ill of others, not criticizing others, whether it's a devotee or a non-devotee. Sometimes we think, we don't have to criticize a devotee, we can criticize a non-devotee. No. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur clearly, he told us that don't respect even an ant also. So respect other jivas. So respect everybody. Don't criticize anybody. The moment we criticize others, we lose our punyas, we lose our, whatever the good deeds we have done, we will be losing them. So we should not be doing that, not criticizing anybody. So this is everything, these vices, when they take up our heart, fear comes in. We don't understand that, but the fear comes through that. There is that subtle fear. The fear, anxiety, it enters with the vices. All the bad things, they bring the fear in us. The more we are towards Krishna, fear will go away. It will run away. So we can get rid of the fear. There is only one way, that we surrender to Krishna and have faith in Krishna. The more we surrender, the more fearless we become. And a fearless person is, Krishna says, I give I give the fearlessness to you. Abhay Dan. I give you that Dan. That's a Dan, he says again. Dan means it's again, he's donating it to us. It's his mercy. A person cannot be fearless on his own. A fearless person is actually, he has been granted the mercy of Krishna. That's why he is fearless. And anxieties will go away, everything will go away if once Krishna is in our lives. If we accept Krishna in our life, this will go away. There are in my groups, as other day also I was saying, many have gone. There was a young boy who left his body just 3-4 days back. He called me up on the 2nd May from the, on 28th April, he called me from the ICU. He was in the ICU. He was down with a COVID. He had kidney transplantation had been done. Kidney transplant had been done on him. And after, it's been years, the kidney transplant was done. Now he was hit by COVID. And he was in the hospital. In ICU, he called me up. And we have started a Sankirtan Yagya here in the morning at 5 a.m. I go for chanting with roundabout, say, 200 people on the YouTube and on the Zoom. We all chant together. We do 5 to 6 a.m. chanting together, and then the evening 5 to 6 p.m. we do a class together. So this boy, he called me up. He was like late 30s. He was in his late 30s. He called me up from the ICU, and he said that, Mataji, I am chanting and I have COVID now, but I'm recovering. It's going now. And I'm in the ICU right now on oxygen, but there are many more here, and 2 people just died before me yesterday. And I was telling the doctors and the nurses here that everybody should chant Hare Krishna. And he said in the morning at 5 a.m. I put the chanting session here for everybody to listen. But people are very in sad and morose situation. They have given it up from heart. They've given the hope even. And this boy, after he had already had a kidney transplant also, but he showed a lot of hope in him. And then he said, I'm recovering. So 2 days later, he sent me a message on the WhatsApp that I have been released from the hospital and I'm back home. But then on the 2nd May, he came back, and today is 15th. On 12th May, suddenly his father called me up at 11 a.m. and he said, my son has gone. He's no more. And I said, what happened? He said in the morning he was chanting at 5 a.m. He was chanting and he really wanted to speak to you. And he was gasping for breath, and he had a heart attack in the morning. And by 10:30 he passed away. But he was chanting at that time, and he was speaking all about Krishna, Krishna. He was screaming on his voice because he was gasping for breath, but then he left the body. So this is actually, he had a glorious death. He did not die in the hospital. He did not die in the ICU. He died at home. And yet he was chanting the holy name. And he was fearless. He was preaching. He was very much inclined to preaching. He was preaching in ICU. He set that example in our group. And he had joined me just 1 year back. He came to know about like ISKCON and the chanting, everything. In the last lockdown we had on the 22nd March, we started the lectures. He had joined me at that time. And then he had started coming to the temple for my classes. He was there in all the classes with us. And he was inclined to preaching. He had done the book marathon. He had done the Bhagavatam marathon with me, the Bhagavad Gita marathon. And yet he has gone from the world now. But he was fearless in the face of death. He did not have any fear that he was going to die. He was in ICU also, and then also he's chanting when people are dying before him. And he's telling them to chant also to others. So these are the living examples before everybody. They are open examples. There's nothing, we are not hiding anything. Yes, this is the truth of life. People become fearless with the chanting holy name. So let's take the question answers, Prabhu. There are no end to the stories. We've got plenty of stories, plenty of realizations.
Hare Krishna, those stories you relate are really enlivening. It's a life testimony of Krishna
Yes,
consciousness
Prabhu.
and how we can make one.
Yes, there is
Yes.
Ram Nitasukha Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat
Yeah,
Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Radhika
Krishna.
Kripa.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. It's so nice to hear you again,
Thank you for
preaching enthusiastically.
thank you for joining me.
I've got two questions that I think would be relevant for you to expound upon and for the devotees to hear your answers. So the first question goes something like this. Ever since my god brother Pankajangri Prabhu passed away, there's a kind of a doubt that some devotees express that why didn't Lord Nrsingadev save him? He's been the dear Pujari of Lord Nrsingadev for many decades, and devotees, hundreds, thousands, if not tens of thousands of devotees all over the world were praying to Lord Nrsingadev, please, Pankajangri, we want you to stay with us. And yet he left his body. Now, Pankajangri himself, he was in a transcendental state, but yet the doubt may be there for the devotees that Nrsingadev is there for our protection, but he did not protect the dearmost Pujari, Srimad Pankajangri Prabhu. So could you address that? And then I have another question.
Yes, Prabhu. That's actually, Prabhu, that's a very, very interesting question also. Because it's not always, we think that if we will live, then the Krishna has blessed us. If we don't die, Krishna is blessing us. It's not that always. It's Krishna's way of blessing. This was asked to, I think so, his brother also. Janani Vas Prabhu was asked the same thing. And he gave the reply also that Krishna has his own ways. And this is a blessing.
Yes.
He needed his service somewhere else. He has taken him for that service. And everybody has to go. Again, he's proven that yes, everybody has to go, has to leave this world. But he went in a glorious way. It was not in the ICU again, and he was surrounded by devotees and chanting was going on. He was in his favorite Mayapur Dham back, not in Calcutta. He did not die in Calcutta. He was brought back and he left the body there.
And we should not feel sad for Pankajangri. Obviously, it was the most auspicious death. But yet the devotees sometimes think that, why didn't Nrsingadev protect him?
This is
as the protector, as the dearmost Pujari of Nrsingadev. They make those connections.
We are not eternal. Krishna has told already that you are not eternal. Body is not eternal. Soul is eternal. So we are not going to stay here all the time. We have to go. So but he went in a glorious way. That was a glorious when chanting was going on. Mayapur Dham is there. Everything was so auspicious. And yes, I think so. I've answered this question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have another question. I'll try and ask it succinctly, if I could. There's an analogy that I've heard some devotees talking about in the Srimad Bhagavatam to the coronavirus situation in India, and that is the churning of the milk ocean, Samudra Mantham, in the 8th canto, where the devatas and the Daityas got together. It's a long story. I don't want to give the whole story, but basically the first thing that came out of their churning was the hala poison.
Yeah, the poison.
And some devotees are now making the connection. Well, that poison then spread all over the universe, threatening the entire universe with death. So they're saying that, well, why can't we invoke Lord Shiva, and specifically this Shiva, it's explained in the Bhagavatam and Prabhupada's purport is Sada Shiva, which is Vishnu. Why cannot we petition and invoke Lord Shiva to drink the poison of COVID-19 in a kind of like allegorical, symbolic sense, utilizing the Leela there in the Bhagavatam?
Bro, this is, what can I say? This is actually, we are just putting our views in it. It's Krishna's hand. Everything Krishna has made it. The Bhagavad Gita, again, it's the principle.
Lord Shiva, in this case, is Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah,
it's
I understand.
Shiva. It's the same thing as Vishnu.
I understand that. But then Krishna has said...
He specifically drank the poison.
I know. He drank the poison.
Service.
Yes. He took it on him that he will drink the poison. That's why he's called the Neelkantha, because his kanta became blue because of the poison. So this is... But Krishna says, everything belongs to me. Aham sarvasya, everything is coming from me. The solution is with me. So if we just think over,
That's
yes,
my point, Mataji. Krishna, Sadashiva is the same. Just as
I,
Advaitacharya, Mahavishnu, Sadashiva is actually the same tattva.
but this
We
is
can
actually,
pray to
Prabhu,
Lord Shiva as Sadashiva
I understand, but
to do this specific
this
service.
is not going to be the Pralay, because it is clearly written that 4,28,000 years are still there. So this can't be the Pralay. Maybe a lot of people will die. They will die. And I was asking my Guru
I'm not
Maharaj.
talking about pralaya. I'm not talking about the pralaya, Mataji. I'm talking about an allegorical understanding
But
of
we
Bhagavatam.
can't.
Just as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives his allegorical understanding of Krishna killing the demons in an allegorical sense, that's us to kill our nartas. And he describes how that actually works, why these stories are literal and allegorical. Similarly, this story in Bhagavatam can be taken as an allegory to help us in our time of emergency and distress to take the hala poison of COVID-19 by invoking Sadashiva to drink it.
We are praying. The Sankirtan Yajnas are going everywhere for the Krishna to take it. It's up to him. That's what I'm saying.
My point is Krishna comes in many forms. He has specific forms for specific purposes.
Yes. But then he has, this is not mentioned in the Bhagavatam that he'll be coming right now. It's always, the Kalki avatar has been mentioned.
It's not a matter of him appearing right now. He's always existing.
Yeah.
It's Vishnu. It's Sadashiva.
That's what I said.
Same as Vishnu or Mahavishnu. He can do miracles through our approaching him correctly. That's my point. I hear these arguments, and personally I agree with them. But I don't see devotees anywhere having any kind of kirtan prayer mela where the focus is on Sadashiva drinking the hala poison of COVID-19.
I have no idea. I am no authority on that. I just asked this question to my Guru Maharaj. The one question I asked him was, why so many people?
If you could get, please ask him, and I would love to know. Okay, I'll let other devotees ask questions. Thank you very much, Mama.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Nice meeting you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We also had Kishore Prabhu raised his hand. Kishore Prabhu, do you have a question that you'd like to express now?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Really interesting and insightful. I had a query actually, but I think later on when you went on, I think it got answered. But let me ask again.
Okay.
You mentioned that faith is necessary, but what happens in our day-to-day life, despite having the faith, the fear keeps on coming back and it doesn't go away. And the mind is conditioned in such a way that you keep on thinking about the problem. And when you think about the problem, you exaggerate about what situation would come in.
That's right.
So my actually question, I think you answered in a way that what should we do? Should we focus less on the problem so it like subsides, or you increase your faith in Krishna such a way that you don't think about your problems?
That's it.
So,
we increase our faith. The faith becomes stronger and stronger. The problem becomes smaller and smaller. That's it. When the faith gets stronger and stronger, the problem will be smaller and smaller. It'll become small automatically. So when we see so much of suffering outside, so our problem, sometimes we think, when we are sitting at home, we think, our problem, we magnify our problem. We keep on harping, thinking about our problem, and it looks like a mountain, And when we go out in the world and we see others, like the child story I gave you, she says, I thank Krishna, I thank God for my good health. And where is the good health? She herself is suffering. But she says, I have a better health, good health than many, many, many. So this is how our problem becomes small the more we have faith in Krishna. You're right. You picked up the right thing. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your question, Kishore Prabhu. Puja Mataji, you also have your hand raised.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
My question is, towards the end of one's life, these days we're all chanting Narsimha Kavach or other religion, they chant Hanuman Chalisa, etc. I wanted to know the reason behind this. Is it I know it is peaceful for chanting and it keeps our mind occupied towards Krishna rather than thinking about somebody who is at the last stage of their life. But is that the rational then? Am I thinking properly, Mataji?
We have to chant and chant with sincerity and chanting with an understanding, with the surrender to the Guru. Guru is very important in life. We forget that aspect. We think, oh, the chanting is important. Yes, but the chanting that has been given by the Guru, the spiritual, what I say is the initiation, that has got a big role to play. That has got a big, big role to play. Unless we are actually surrendered, surrender means that you are under the rules and regulatives. The surrender doesn't mean that on my own I'm chanting and I have picked it up. Yes, I'm chanting, that's good in a way that we are chanting. But the real chanting, it pays when it is under the shelter of a guru, when we are surrendered to a guru. Without the Arjun also, when he said, I become your disciple, then only Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to him. The real, we may read the Bhagavad Gita on our own, but the real meaning of the Bhagavad Gita that comes in your heart. Krishna says, Tesham ivanu kampartam aham agyanam jamtama. You will understand the Bhagavad Gita from your inside only, from your heart only. And how will you? Because by my mercy. It will be by my mercy. And then when we surrender to Guru, the knowledge comes through the heart, it is going to come through the heart. This spiritual knowledge doesn't go through the ears or head. It's not our intelligence. It's not an MA or a PhD. It is going to come through the heart. Awakening of the heart, that's got enlightenment. That is going to happen. For sure it will happen. If you are surrendered truly, if you are chanting truly, under the shelter of the Guru. So first we should try to take the shelter of the Guru. That's very, very important. We forget that aspect. Because then only our faith will become very strong. The faith has to be strong. One has to be a Guru wala. And the Guru cannot be just we hang a picture of any Guru. We have just picked it up. No, I've made him a Guru. No. There is the qualifications of the Guru are mentioned in the scriptures. The Guru should have those qualifications. And the devotee should be surrendered. Because we can chant on our own, that's right, everybody can chant. But that chanting will not pay that much, it won't have that effect if we have taken the shelter of the Guru and we get it. That effect is many, many times more than what we will be experiencing doing it ourselves. I hope I made it clear to you.
What I'm thinking is when people are chanting, when somebody is at the end of the life and people are chanting, Narsimha Kavach or whatever, then what is the rationale behind that? It is for the peace of the soul going to pass away?
First thing is everybody is at the end of the day. It's not that only the old age. Anybody can die any moment. Death is inevitable, I said. Even a child can die, even a young person can die, even the middle age, old age, everybody can die. And it's good you're chanting Narsingh Kavacha, it's good. But as I said, under the shelter of the Guru, the Mahamantra in itself is very sufficient, very effective. But if we have been awarded by the Guru, if the initiation has been done, initiation means initiate. The Guru initiates us. Our spiritual life starts at the hand of the Guru. It's on our own, nobody can be perfect. Guru can make us perfect. Guru can do what we may lack, Guru can put it. We lack all the time, we will be lacking. If only 25% bhakti I have, the Guru is going to give me, if I am a surrendered soul, he is going to put 75% more into it for me. He'll make it complete 100%. So Guru plays a very important role in life. We take it very lightly, but Guru has a very important role to play. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Any other questions from anyone? Or reflections? It doesn't have to be a question. Is a reflection is something that you've heard in the class that's you take away as a point of significance in your own spiritual life? And the way we like to say reflection, if you finish this class and you walk into a friend and they say, "Where have you been?" "Oh, I've been listening to a lecture by Radhika Kripa Mataji." "Oh, what did you learn there?" "Or what stuck in your mind?" So your reflection is like that. So if anyone's got some reflections, not necessarily a question, please feel free to share that also.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Chandrika Mataji, Mayank Prabhu had something to say first, then we'll come to you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I have a question related to what Mataji asked, this Raksha Kavach, which I have seen so many devotees, wear it at the neck. We know that everyone has to die, whether it is devotee or non-devotee, then what is the need of that Raksha Kavach?
Sorry, Prabhu, please repeat. What did you say?
Yeah, Mataji, what I said was I have seen so many devotees in our ISKCON that they wear that Raksha Kavach in their neck,
Yeah.
the mala.
Yes.
We know that everyone has to die, no one is eternal, everyone has to die, whether devotee or non-devotee, then what is the purpose of that Raksha Kavach? What is the significance of that?
It's actually giving us the faith in Krishna. Again, the faith in Narsingh Bhagwan. That kavacha means that you have faith in Krishna, faith in Narsingh Bhagwan, he's with you. It's just like wearing this kanti mala, wearing the Narsingh Kavach, having the faith. As I said, the death is inevitable. Everybody has to die. Nobody knows. The soul is eternal, the body is not eternal. Yet, we have the faith, yes, Krishna is with me. At the time of death also, he will be there with me. So it's just that. That's why devotees wear the Narsingh Kavacha. They sing the Narsingh Kavacha. They pray the glories of Krishna. They sing the glories of Narsingh Bhagwan. That's to make our faith strong again. That's right. Sometime other I will do, the next session I will do the story of the Mataji, the Russian devotee who went to Abolam and then she left her body there. If you have read her story in how she left her body there, how she went to serve Narsingh Bhagwan there. So this is the faith actually. Spiritual life is all about faith. When we have faith, miracles will happen. And when we don't have faith, we will lose everything. Krishna says that first you have faith, I'll show you. Science says, seeing is believing. Krishna says, you believe in me, you will see then. First you believe in me, then you will see everything. Otherwise you will not see a single thing. That's it.
Thank you very much. Chandrika Mataji, you had a question or a reflection?
No, it was just a reflection. And thank you so much, Mataji,
Thank you.
for coming and taking our invite. 'Cause I've heard from you several times, and now I've joined your group, and I relish your classes very much.
Thank
I
you.
just have just one point that I've made loads of points, but this one is stuck. Is the more we surrender, the less fear we will hold upon us, have hold upon us. So the more we keep surrendering, the less fear we will have. So that's really struck with me. And also, respect all, do not criticize anyone, otherwise your good deeds will be lost. And I often find sometimes I see something I don't like, it's very easy to judge and internally be critical of that. So after this class, I'll take that on board and try not to sort of pause before criticizing or having those thoughts about someone.
That's right.
So
Thank you.
that's my reflection. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. She's the pivot in inviting me. She only called me up and she fixed it up for me to speak here. Thank you for inviting.
We hope
Thank
you'll
you,
come
Chandra.
again.
Sure.
Thank you, Chandrika Mataji. We owe the benefits of this session. Thank
Oh,
you.
no benefit.
Ramanath Sukaprabhu, you still have your hand up. Is that a vacancy hand?
No, thank you. Just a quick reflection. I wanted to thank Radhika Kripa Mataji to emphasizing the point about rising early, taking advantage of Brahma Muhurta hours for chanting and hearing and Mangalartik, for becoming fearless. That's actually our process. But I know many devotees struggle to actually take advantage of those early morning hours. But I just wanted to reflect on that and thank Radhika Kripa for enforcing
Thank you.
concept. Maybe she'd like to elaborate more on it also, because this actually is our way for becoming fearless.
Yes,
is
Prabhu.
to strictly adhere to sadhana bhakti, but in the right way, in the morning hours. Take advantage of the auspiciousness of Brahma Muhurta.
Yes, Prabhu. I speak everything from my own experience. Usually it's with me.
That's
What I speak my experience. I can't even be very confident on speaking if it's not me. If it's not with me, I will not speak out even. That's with me the biggest thing. That's how I've become a writer also.
that's what I'm admiring, that you're speaking on this realization, and I'm just reinforcing it. Yes, it works. So
Yeah.
please, this is something that devotees need to meditate on, and not to feel guilty about if you can't rise early, but still, those early morning hours, if you can figure out how to take advantage of them, you actually really feel Krishna's presence more than any other time of the day.
That's right.
And then you feel that fearlessness comes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
absolutely right.
Krishna's protection comes.
Thank you.
Anyway, it's just a reflection. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the reflection, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So I think we'll have time for just one more question with Emma Mataji, and then we'll probably close the session. So Emma Mataji, would you like to express your question, please?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for a very nourishing class. I was thinking, you said something about Krishna being within you and he knows everything. And yet we know that, and we feel kind of conviction with that. But sometimes with our children, especially with this external environment we're dealing with, the anxiety and the fear continues to be within us. So when Draupadi cried out for Krishna, she cried out, then Krishna came. And I was just wondering, what should that cry out look like? What should be that cry out for us in terms of protecting our children, their future? Because that does give me a bit of anxiety at the moment with what's happening in the world and around us.
One should be free from anxiety means that we all are helpless. We should know that. Even when a patient reaches the doctor, even he reaches the hospital, then also they put the ventilators on, they put the oxygen on, yet they cannot save sometimes the patient they cannot save, because again they say it's all in the hands of the God. So we know it. We don't accept it. We are helpless from the day one. You may want your children to become the engineer or a doctor or whatever, but then you don't know, even that's the anxiety. You think, oh, you want to make them this way, but then you feel, oh, they will not become that. So that's the anxiety. But when you leave it to Krishna, just bring them up nicely, give them the good education, let them flow with the time, and give them Krishna, give them the right values in life, give them the bhakti. Then whatever they will become, that's Krishna's will be there. So one thing is there, you can just have faith in Krishna, yes. Because everything is going to happen according to their previous karmas also. They are going to play a big role. And if you really want to help them, the only help is give them Krishna every day, remind them of Krishna. And the anxiety will go away. And Krishna is sitting in your heart, he understands your anxiety. But then he also is training us in the same way from the Bhagavad Gita, that all relationships, he says, take me as your best relationship. I am your best relationship. None of the relationships in this material world are your best ones. They will all wither away, whether your own children, your own spouse, anybody you take, on your parents even, he says. He says, I am your best relation. I am your mother, father, grandfather, everything, your friend. Take me as your dear friend also. Confide in me. That is what we have to do. And he is there in our heart. And if we just confide in him, the rest, and give Krishna to others. The best upbringing for the children is giving them Krishna all the time. And you won't be able to go with them everywhere. You won't be able to protect them everywhere in this world. There is Maya everywhere. In London especially, it's in the extreme everywhere, and all the places in India also now. The Kali Yuga is there. So then you won't be able to shield your children from all this. If they have the Krishna's blessings, they will be protected. They would know, yes, at the and there is Krishna. If they are in some difficulty, they have to go to Krishna. So that's the training. And if you will, then you will also be anxiety free. Leave it to Krishna. Give them give them the training that they have to get attached to Krishna. I hope you understand.
Thank you.
Hari
No,
Bol.
that's very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for that question, the answer. So I think, Mataji, we've gone for almost 1.5 hours now. We may
Yeah.
call the program to a close.
Yeah, thank you.
We'd like to close by expressing our gratitude to you.
Thank you very much.
And all the devotees who have attended, they said they can be a speaker, but with no audience. There could be no program, and there could be an audience but no speaker. There's no program. So we have the wonderful combination of both an audience of Vaishnavas and the most exalted Vaishnavis yourself, Masterji. So again, our gratitude to you. And maybe we'll close our program by reciting the Vaishnava pranams.
Yes, bro.
Where we can offer our humble obeisances to the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpata rubhyascha kripa sindhivijja Vaishnava Anantapuri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
To see you in the morning.
Yeah, we'll all meet in the morning at 5 a.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Thank you for a wonderful session. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hari Bol.
Thank you for
Hare
organizing
Krishna.
as well.
Hari Bol.
Jai.
Jai.
Hare
Hare Krishna, everybody. See you all in the morning at 5 a.m. Hari Bol.